Falcom have been really busy over the past several years creating some absolutely awesome RPGs in the Trails and Ys series. They've been doing so much right, and if you ask me, they're making themselves one of the leading JRPG developers. The Ys series saw a huge rise in popularity after Ys VIII was released in 2017, and now we have the latest in this long-running series, Ys IX Monstrum Nox. This game provides much of what was great about its predecessors, but throws in a new spin on things with the game taking place in one single city. If you're after a fun JRPG with solid action-focused gameplay and an engaging story, then look no further than Ys IX. Before we begin, if you liked this review, it would help a fellow gamer out by hitting the like button, commenting, and subscribing for more RPG content. My digital code for Ys IX was also provided by NIS America for the purpose of this review, and the footage that you see comes from the PS4 version running on the PlayStation 5. Alright, let's get into it. Once again, we follow the journey of Adol. Unlike the Trail series, these titles are not directly related to one another. We're in a new city with a new plot and characters, with only Adol and Dogi being from the past games. There is certainly no requirement to play the past games, but there is quite a few references to Adol's previous adventures that you would miss otherwise. Ys IX is set after Ys VII in the prison city of Belduc. Immediately after entering the city, Adol is arrested due to his previous shenanigans and he's sent straight to the Slammer. During his breakout attempt, a mysterious hooded woman shoots him, turning him into a being known as a monstrum. This is a huge focus of the game. Adol and 5 other monstrums are tasked to fight the Lumaries, who only they can see within an alternate plane known as the Grimwald Nox. The whole focus of the story is uncovering the mysteries associated with the monstrums and the Grimwald Nox, but also the secrets and conspiracies involving the prison itself. I thoroughly enjoyed the story of Ys IX. There is constant mystery, many surprising reveals, and some awesome moments spread throughout this 40-odd hour journey. With that said, at times it is held back by some slow pacing. You see, the disadvantage of becoming a monstrum is that you're stuck within the boundaries of the city, meaning Adol can't simply pack his bags and start a new adventure somewhere else. Each specific section of the city is also restricted by a barrier, and the only way to unlock these barriers is to fill your Nox meter at the top left of the screen. This can be done by either completing side quests or fighting loads of enemies. The side quests themselves are okay. Some of them teach a good amount about the world and the characters, while others had me skim reading through them because I really didn't care that some rando needed a white ribbon and some flowers. Now, I will admit that the side quests are a good mechanism in preventing you from simply dispelling all of the city barriers at the start of the game. However, after big story reveals, the last thing you want to do is complete a bunch of forced side quests. This and the sometimes multiple dungeons required to progress the story does create some pacing issues. When Ys IX is good, it's good. It's just at times it drags on a little in between this good.
White Cat, reporting in.
Hawk, present.
Doll here. Good day.
Raging Bull, I'm raring to go.
Renegade. Let's get on with it already.
As you would know if you've played past Ys games, our beloved Red Hat Adol is a silent protagonist. I'm usually not a fan of this, but at least Adol is given frequent dialogue choices. These don't actually change the story itself, but they do change up some dialogue from other characters. And in case you're wondering, yes, that guy is Adol. He just dyed his hair blue at the start of the game so the guards wouldn't recognize him and throw him back into prison. The cast that support Adol on his journey are all quite strong. They each have a decent backstory and the dynamics between them all work quite well. The initial chapters of the game each focus on one of these main characters who are the other monstrums. Now, each of these monstrums actually fight with you inside the Grimwald Nox from the very start of the game, but as they are in their monstrum form, you don't know their true identities, and it was really interesting learning who each one actually is during their chapter. As you recruit these main characters and other NPCs along the way, they'll join you at your home base, the Dandelion Bar, which works similar to acquiring allies for your village in Ys VIII. These NPCs all provide you with some kind of additional functionality, such as a multitude of shops and a blacksmith to upgrade your weapons. The cast of main characters are also very well voiced, but in typical Falcom style, most of the game isn't voiced, and some of the scenes are even a mix of half voice acting and half text. I'm hoping that with the rise of the Ys and Trail series, they'll have the budget to include more voice acting in the future and also make some graphical updates, as the visuals look very dated for a game released in this generation. There's also very little variety variety in the NPC models, and this was also disappointing. But something Falcom does that never fails to amaze me is the soundtracks. I honestly don't know how they are so consistently good in this area. From the slow, emotional pieces to the upbeat, electric guitar-fueled battle themes, it's also good. Now, let's get into the gameplay. Ys IX plays very similar to Ys VIII. You run, jump and roll around with a single character, attacking your enemies with regular attacks. Each character can also equip 4 unique skills at a time, costing varying amounts of SP to use. The other 2 characters in your party can be switched to on the fly, which is a good way to exploit enemies' weaknesses, as each character's attack is either classified as strike, pierce or slash. You can also direct your allies to either defend or attack, but I never used this as my party were exceptional at staying alive. They literally did not die once. Timing a roll or a guard just as the enemy strikes will also initiate a flash move or a flash guard, and this provides a short window for you to safely dish out some damage. This was a nice addition as it adds a lot to the skill ceiling. There's also a boost meter that increases when you give or take damage, and when activated, your stats will increase and you'll be able to activate an extra skill that deals massive damage. I think the biggest significant addition here is the use of gifts. Each monstrum has some sort of unique ability that can be used in battle, and once you officially recruit them, all of the characters can use these gifts. Adol's gift, for instance, allows the monstrums to quickly close in on a targeted enemy, while the White Cat's ability allows them to climb up walls. This gameplay is fast, furious, and most importantly, a lot of fun. My only real issue here is the lock-on, which at times is impossible to lock onto the intended target due to too many enemies around. This also occasionally screws up the camera when a locked-on enemy is below you or around a corner, leaving you vulnerable from other directions. And while I'm complaining, someone really needs to handwrite a letter to the staff who worked on the difficulty settings. There are 6 levels of difficulty: easy, normal, hard, nightmare, inferno, and lunatic. At first, I chose normal because I really don't consider myself very good at action RPGs, but this was an absolute breeze. Hard was also a breeze. Nightmare is where I actually had to start thinking about my actions, and Inferno saw me die in only a couple of hits. I'm also going to assume that easy is brain dead mode. Basically, someone needs to learn their words. Okay, so the gameplay is generally really good, but this brings me to my biggest issue with the game, and that is the balancing issues due to the horrible healing mechanics. Now, I've read loads of other reviews, and I honestly cannot believe how rarely this is addressed. It is basically impossible to die, due to the fact that you can use healing or reviving items without any penalty, and this is for every difficulty. Die, die, die. Whoa, stop right there. I will not die. If you're hurt or KO'd, just hit the menu, choose a cheap, easily accessible revival item, then resume. Rinse and repeat until you win. Yeah, this start-stop menu hopping is annoying, but if I wanted to, I could easily get through lunatic mode by doing this, assuming I had enough healing items. The worst part is that this could be easily solved if they implemented an item cooldown or only allowed you to heal with empty bottle healing items that are in limited quantity. Does anyone else see my point here? Let me know in the comments. When you're not in battle, you'll spend most of your time traveling around the city of Belduc and working through dungeons. This is made really fun with the addition of the Monstrum's gifts, which allows you to run, glide and climb all over this giant city. As I mentioned before, Belduc itself is very large, with lots of different city regions slowly opening up to you. In fact, for the majority of the game, there really isn't much in the way of variety when it comes to the environments. It's just the same old grey brick after grey brick. I think they could have done a much better job in giving each of the regions its own distinct visual style. At least the game opens up a bit towards the end of the game though, with the larger open areas being a welcome change. There are many areas within this city, the fields and the dungeons to explore, with loads of hidden items to discover, from treasure chests to landmarks to the 120 Azure petals. It is great that there is so much to do here, but the actual process of exploration and discovery is just so easy, as the map will show you the icons for everything except for the Azure petals. Not once did I feel accomplished when I found a rare chest or a landmark, since I knew it was there from the start. I may have had to think for a few seconds about how I could use my gifts to reach said item, but this was never difficult. What's particularly baffling is the underutilization of the third eye gift, which lets you locate all hidden items in the nearby area. This alone would have been the perfect way to uncover all of the secrets in the world. Ys IX is undoubtedly a lot of fun and will hopefully continue to help spread the word that Falcom seriously know how to RPG. One of the main reasons to play Ys IX Monstrum Nox is for the engaging story and the interesting cast of characters. While the pacing can be slow at times with 4 side quests, there are still loads of awesome moments with twists, turns and great reveals. The combat is also solid, and putting the lock-on and camera issues aside, I had loads of fun taking on the many enemies and bosses. It's just a shame that the healing mechanic makes it so unbalanced to the point that you can repetitively revive yourself to victory even on the hardest difficulty levels. The gifts that each monstrum is given have also been very well woven into both the world exploration and the combat, and using them in battle and traversing the city feels really good. Presentation wise, the visuals are very dated, and it really won't take long to get sick of seeing more grey bricks in this large city that offers very little visual variation. But at least the music is good. Falcom are consistently great in this area. So, is Ys IX Monstrum Nox worth playing? I would say yeah. If you're into the Ys series or action JRPGs, then the game's 2 biggest strengths, the story and the combat, will certainly satisfy you, even if it does fall short in some of the other areas. What did you think of Ys IX? Let me know in the comments. This was Hellfire RPGs, thanks for watching. If you like this, hit like and sub for loads more RPG content, and also come say hi on Facebook and Twitter. See you next time.